Hey there, bookish friends. My name's Gabby. Thanks for stopping by my channel, Lefty Reads. You know, they always say, don't judge a book by its cover. I don't know who they is, but they is right. You know, some books are really good, but their covers are really not. So today we're going to be talking about those books. We're going to be talking about good books, bad covers. I just want to point out that gathering books for this topic was actually a lot harder than I expected because book designers have really stepped their game up. There's just so many beautiful books in this world. It was so hard to choose, and so I kind of had to think about what books were not being fairly represented by their covers, you know? Because the cover can be like aesthetically pleasing, but not really like capture the book at all. So I kind of considered that, and then I kind of considered what would I think if I were seeing the cover of this book with no idea what it was about. Granted, these are all like my personal opinions. You might think all these covers are the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, and like, that's fine. Don't come for me. Like, I'm not gonna apologize for thinking these are ugly. Sorry. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. Okay, anyway, here are 5 books that I think are great that have ugly covers. So we're gonna start off with the book series that inspired this video in the first place, and that is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. This is my favorite book series of all time, and I have spent years like screaming about how it just needs a better cover. Honestly, I just think the branding of the series just really did not work in its favor. As time went on, it did not age well, because I think if it had a title different than Vampire Academy, for one, and better covers, then it would just be so much more popular. I mean, it's already like a popular series. Also, the fact that the movie freaking sucked did not help. So there's that. I don't think that any iteration of this book series has had the covers that it deserved. I've never seen a good Vampire Academy cover, and it's so sad because it's such a good book. Like, the characters are so well developed. The world is so intricate. The writing is great. I know not everybody loves this book series, but I do, and I think that is just so good, and that people are gonna see Vampire Academy with their cheesy ass covers and be like, oh, Twilight knockoff, which is not the case. Okay, Vampire Academy is just really good. Okay, everybody read it. The next book / series that I want to mention is the Summer I Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han. I mean, it's a nice summery contemporary series. I haven't read it in a really long time, but I remember being absolutely in love with it when I read it. But like, let's look at these covers. They are not pretty. And it's weird because all of Jenny Han's other covers are like beautiful. Like, that's what I would want out of my contemporary covers, like the Burn for Burn cover and the To All the Boys I've Loved Before cover. Like, those are beautiful contemporary book covers, but the Summer I Turned Pretty ain't pretty. No. I think that they could get really beautiful, beachy, summery covers, but they have this like weird angsty love triangle cover, which granted is like fitting for the book, but it could be prettier. Next, I want to talk about Graffiti Moon by Kath Crowley. I am obsessed with this book. It is one of my favorite contemporary books of all time. Kath Crowley is one of my favorite contemporary authors, even though I've only read 2 of her books. They were both phenomenal. I've read Graffiti Moon twice, and it has 2 covers. I think it has the United States cover and the Australian cover. The United States one isn't horrible, but it's not, it could be so much better. I just think that this is such like a beautiful novel, and it incorporates art and like nighttime adventures, and I just think the cover could be so much more than it is. And if it had a truly beautiful cover, maybe more people would talk about this book, because not enough people know this book and talk about it. Thank you very much. The next book I want to talk about is Delirium by Lauren Oliver. I love this book so much. I just pretend it's not a trilogy. Like, the first book is a standalone in my opinion. RT if you agree. Trying to prove a point. No, really though, I love the first book with all my heart. I recently reread it not that long ago. Wow, because that's what recently means. But I reread it, and it was just as beautiful and heartbreaking and wonderful the second time around. And I think like the cover is aesthetically pleasing, especially because I know they redid the cover for after the first book. And I think it's like aesthetically pleasing, like the colors are nice and stuff like that, but like it's just a girl's face and some freaking leaves. And I just feel like the story has such an interesting premise with like love being a disease and stuff, and like they could have done something interesting. And I know that these covers were designed in the time of girls' faces being on covers all the time, but like I just want so much more for this book. I think it deserves better. The final book that I want to talk about today is Aftercare Instructions by Bonnie Pipkin. I don't hate the book cover. I think the book cover is nice looking. I think that it really fits the story. However, I just don't think it's the kind of book cover that people are going to see on the shelves and be like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful, I want to buy it. And like, it's such a good book. It's about a girl who gets an abortion and her boyfriend just kind of leaves her at the clinic while she's getting her abortion. And so this book is told in like alternating timelines. And so the past is told in playwright format and the present is told in just like standard novel format. And it kind of is just like two different love stories, and it's just, it's so good. It's so like gritty. It deals with like tough subjects obviously, and it's so good. And I just don't think that the cover really like calls to you. You know, like I wouldn't see this in a bookstore and be like, I need to know what that's about. And I think that maybe is part of the reason that this book hasn't received a lot of attention. This is like the very definition of underrated books. Anytime somebody talks about underrated books, like Aftercare Instructions is one of the first books that I think of because it's incredible and people just don't talk about it. I've not really heard a lot of other people talking about it at all, and they need to. It's so good. So those were 5 books with ugly covers. I recommend reading all these books. I think they're great. I just think their covers aren't. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Let me know down in the comments what other books you think are really great but could use a cover redesign, because I want to know, because maybe I saw the book and decided I didn't want to read it because the cover was ugly. So give me some ugly book recommendations, okay? We need justice for the Uggs out there. Us uglies gotta stick together. Yeah, remember to do the like thumbs up and subscribing thing if you enjoyed this book, or this isn't a book, this is a video. If you enjoyed this video, do the thumbs up and subscribing thing. Oh, I'm hopeless at this point. Thanks. Bye, bookish friends.